Hi everyone, and happy Saturday. We're going to do this before the big storm blows into Chicago this afternoon. Try to get 1 or 2 videos out to you guys. So today we're going to be using the Woodland Wonder. It is from our January to June catalog on page 53. I have modified the measurements from what Stampin' Up! Suggested in the mini, just because I wanted to fit onto a cardstock, a regular base, and I didn't quite know how to line up when I used their measurements. So here's the card we're going to be making. Just completely adorable. Okay, I'm not going to like color everything in and all that when I'm making the example, but you'll get the idea. All right, so let me bring in my trimmer. Now, anyone who's watched my videos know that when I get my 12 by 12s, I cut them into 4 by 12s so they stack easier in my working area. So on this one, I take my 4 by 12 and I cut it at 9 1/4. So this is going to be 9 1/4 by 4. And then I'm going to score at 6 1/2. And 4 1/2. Okay, and when I stamp, I like stamping on the raised side, because sometimes if you stamp on the valley side, if you don't match up right, you might get a little bit of a ghost effect. So I just like to do it on the mountain side. Okay, I'm going to bring in, since we're using photopolymer stamps, I'm going to be bringing in my piercing mat. Okay, the way that I find it, and I think I'm going to stand up to stamp this, because that way I can not get my head in the picture, because you guys don't want to see my head. You definitely don't. All right, so what I like doing is on the tree trunk. I don't know if you can see it, but there's that score line. What I like to do is I make sure that this is straight on the piercing mat. And then here's where that line is, that score line. I like having the top of that go right on that score line. Okay, just a little bit below. Then I'm going to take this. Now, I learned the hard way. Make sure that your critters are right side up and not upside down. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up here. Going to get a good inking on it. And then it's very easy with this to go right over where that tree line is. Ooh, and look, I'm hoping, let me do this. I should have had it the long way. It was hanging off the edge. I don't know if you saw that. So hopefully, all right, it's still stamped good. It's a little crooked. Sorry about that. And then we're going to do the tree. Now you can use the Stamparatus, but with this long of a piece of paper, I found that it worked good, but it was easier just to eyeball it like I am here. And I'm a little bit off, but when we color, you're not going to see that as much. And if I wasn't worried about getting my head in the picture, I would have that perfectly lined up. Okay, so now you're going to see, as you stamp, there it's closed, and see if I've been off a little bit more. It's going to be like that. So then I have a bunch of blends. I have the Old Olive Light and Dark, Cinnamon Cider, Smoky Slate, Crumb Cake, Bermuda Bay, Mango Melody, my favorite, Pumpkin Pie, Highland Heather, and Flirty Flamingo. And I don't really, on the first go round, I go really quick. I just kind of do an outline. Because remember, these are alcohol based. So I seem to think that if you don't go straight to the edge, they seem to move out and fill in. And if not, I'll go in at the end and make sure it's perfect. But I just do it fairly quickly. I am not a colorer, for anyone who knows me. even though I've got a bunch of those adult coloring books of dragonflies. And then my swear book too. I have one that's a cuss book. But I did that when I was flying to Dallas for training, and I just thought it would help make the plane ride go a little faster, and if anything, it just kind of frustrated me more. So I don't like staying inside the lines, probably why when I do this, I don't go all the way to the edges. I'm going to just put a few of these dark old olives in there, just so you get some definition on the leaves. Okay. Is this the light? Yeah, the light Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to do that on the bird up here. Previous one I did it a lighter color, and I think it just kind of blended in. Not going to worry about his beak for right now because we'll get to that later. Going to do the squirrel. I do gray squirrels. It seems like when my son went to University of Illinois, all we saw around the campus, and if anyone knows about Illinois, the squirrels run rampant on that campus. But it seems like I saw more gray than the brown. So I'm going to do a gray squirrel. Going to go down here and do my owl in the crumb cake. And then for my raccoon, I like doing crumb cake over his eye patch area. And then I come back in with the gray for the rest of him. Just seems to give him a little more definition. All right. This bird, oops, wrong end. You always got to remember that you have the thick and thin end. So let's do him real quick. Let's see, what have I forgotten? The owl's eyes. On that, then I'll use the smaller end. Then we'll come in with the pumpkin pie. Maybe I should have done the lighter pumpkin pie, but not going to. And then we're just going to do all those beaks. Oh, I know what I forgot. I got to do his little mouth here. And then the nest around him. Highlight the grass a little bit down here. Again, very messy about it. Then going to do the tree. This is the cinnamon cider. Usually I'll use the small end on these smaller branches because, like I said, I don't stay well within lines, but oh look, I only got half his beak. I only did his lower lip. Let's do his top upper lip. There we go. All right, and again with the tree, I don't get really close because I feel like it spreads out, and then after it's set for a minute and it's done what I say moving, because I feel like it moves out even though if it doesn't, then I come back in and I go over. Oh look, I have to do his paws too. Can't leave his little feet blank. So I just do the quickest like that. Come in here a little bit. And then I'll come back in after it's set for a while and say, okay, I need to go in there a little bit. Need to go in there a little bit. So I find out that if I go all the way to the edges, it seems like I've gone over the lines then, which isn't that unusual for me. Okay, and I'll go down there. And I have to come to his paws. Can't believe I forgot his paws. All right, looks pretty good. Then, as you can see, you're going to have this when it's folded up. So I like coming down here. And I'll do him in a brown. again, I'm not going to get my head in, so hopefully it looks okay, but I'm just going to wing it. And then Melon Mambo. Nothing mellow about it. I like doing the balloon. Then I like going to the edge of this, right to the edge of this stamp pad to get the string. And then I go back over. I don't mind doing this with my spots. It seems like the spots are more forgiving if you get darker colors on your lighter pads. And then we're going to line that up with his arm. Come back in. We're going to make him pink bunny. I'm going to go over the ears once. I'm going to let it set. And then after I color in the balloon, then I'm going to go back in over his ears to try to make it darker. And if I can't make it darker, then I'll just take the blending and I will go ahead and use the blender to make his body less pink and his ear inserts darker. Okay, and just, I always like doing just another color around my balloon, just around the edges, just to make it, give it a little bit of depth. Couldn't think of the word there. All right, last but not least, I'm going to put on my sayings. Instead of pulling another stamp pad, I'm just going to grab this out and do my happy birthday. I'll probably go find some jewels and this and that. Fold it up here to make sure that where I stamp is going to be below where they see. So I'm going to make sure it's about the side, about even with Mr. Squirrel's nose. And there you are. Go ahead and, oh, I didn't have my stamping steel out. All right. I don't have my silicone mat. Actually, that's how I usually start it. You can put it like this one. I put it on a full card so you can write in. You also can do it on a panel card, because you still have plenty of room to write there, or you can put a white backing on that and make your message there. So there you are. Cute little set. My own dimensions, because I wanted to use a standard card base instead of a bigger one to fit in with the Stampin' Up! Directions. Hope you guys have a great weekend. If you're in the Midwest, be careful with the snow coming, and take care.